I want to thank all the people standing behind me for joining me this morning, and I thank in particular Senator Allen and Assemblywoman Vainieri Huttle and Steve Goldstein, Garden State Equality, and Luanne Peterpaul, the Vice Chair, for joining me to affirm our commitment to safe learning environments and strong protections for our children from harassment and intimidation and bullying. Back in January of 2011, I signed into law the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. Over the course of the last year, my administration has worked with people, right like the people you see standing behind me today and others, to see that the law's implementation was done effectively and to ensure that the aggressive protections provided for in this law were put in place for our students. As we worked to implement the law, a complaint was filed in August with the Council of Local Mandates alleging that portions of the law constituted an unfunded mandate. Ultimately, the Council found this past January that the law did pose an unfunded mandate for districts, starting the clock on a 60-day window for us to either fix the law or risk the law becoming invalidated. Listen, this law becoming invalidated was just unacceptable to me and to the people you see standing with me. Since that time, I'm pleased to say that with the bill sponsors, with Steve Goldstein and with others in my administration, we've come together in a bipartisan way to put together a fix that makes sure the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act stays intact. In the end, each of us wanted the same thing: to protect the intent of the legislation and make sure our students are protected from being victimized and from having their learning environment compromised in any way. Instead of seeking a political opportunity, we did what people of our state expect us to do. We sought each other out to determine the best way forward to solve the problem without regard to party. So today I'm pleased to announce that we've reached that agreement on legislation. It strengthens the law, it allows protections that the law provides to remain in place without interruption, and to address the constitutional issues that have been raised by the Council. Legislation will do two things as amended. First, the bill will create an appropriation of $1 million into the Bullying Prevention Fund, already in place under the law, which will provide financial support to school districts during this school year, just the remainder of this school year until the end of June of 12. These funds will be distributed through a grant process administered by the Department of Education. The funds will directly support school districts in their continued implementation of the law by providing resources for training and personnel expenses deemed necessary for a district to be able to implement the law. Districts will only be able to apply for a grant after they've demonstrated that they've explored and attempted to utilize those resources available at no cost to the district, and there are significant resources available at no cost to districts. So once they've exhausted those opportunities and they can't utilize them, then they're eligible to apply for a grant. Second, the legislation will establish a new task force to review and assist with the law's implementation. It'll consist of 7 members with experience in issues relating to school bullying. 4 of those appointees will be appointed by the governor's office, 3 of them by the legislature, 1 each by the Senate President and the Speaker, and then 1 where the Senate and the Senate President and Speaker agree on a 3rd one. I'm looking for that one. We'll make those appointments, and I've asked for people to make recommendations to us about the folks who should be nominated, and we'll do that in short time frame. We know that students have the best opportunity to learn and achieve when they're in an environment that's safe and free from bullying and intimidation. This legislation is extraordinarily important to meet those goals, and that's why we needed to come together and fix it. Council on Local Mandates has their job to do. They did their job as they saw fit, and our job then is to respond appropriately to that, and I think we did so. So again, I want to thank everybody who's standing here for their leadership, for their willingness to be involved, and to make a difference for children who will benefit from the positive learning environment that will be created by this legislation being fully implemented and be able to move forward without interruption. I just want to introduce Steve Goldstein for some brief remarks, and then after Steve's done, I'll come back and take questions.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. Thank you, Governor. I want to thank Governor Christie for finding a solution to this in a bipartisan manner that involved Republicans like our incredible Senator Diane Allen, who has been a champion of anti-school bullying efforts for a generation, and on the other aisle, Assemblywoman Vainieri Huttle. I want to thank Governor Christie and his entire administration for working with us in real good faith. This was truly a bipartisan solution. where Governor Christie, as well as the leaders of each house in the state legislature, our wonderful Senate President Steve Sweeney and our wonderful Assembly Speaker Sheila Oliver, all work together. In the rough and tumble of politics, it's nice to see the governor and our Democratic leaders really put kids first. You know that kids who are bullied have suicidal thoughts from 2 to 9 times more than other kids. LGBT kids report at a rate of 85% that they're bullied. 40% of LGBT kids report physical bullying. This heroic fix that the governor and leaders of both houses in both parties have engineered will save lives. Governor, today I thank you for putting kids first with this bill.